Next on Worcester News tonight, a Massachusetts judge sides with a chain liquor store in their lawsuit against a state board. We'll have the story. Plus, volunteers come together to create a special surprise on Worcester Common for service members and their families. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Catherine Andrioli. Those stories in a minute. We begin tonight with an update to a story we've been following. Worcester police have identified the man found dead late Tuesday night at a home on Halmstad Street. They say the victim is 53-year-old David Carlson. He was found by Worcester firefighters after they responded to the home for a fire. Police say Carlson's death is being investigated as suspicious. A man police say Carlson knew was arrested on an unrelated shoplifting charge not far from the scene of the fire. It's still unclear if there is any connection to his death. Voters in Massachusetts passed Question 4 back in November, legalizing recreational marijuana. In December, portions of the new law took effect, but local police departments are expressing concerns, saying the decriminalization is happening too quickly. Our Brittany Schaefer has the story.
As a police chief, I have some significant concerns.
As the state's recreational marijuana legislation moves forward, Leicester Police Chief James HURLEY worries the decriminalization of the drug happened too quickly.
The problem that we are facing currently is that law enforcement and the criminal justice system are behind the marijuana legislation.
Unlike alcohol, police say there is no good test to determine if a driver is under the influence of marijuana, but doctors say a person's driving is impaired.
Driving at a slower rate of speed, having difficulty dividing your attention between tasks, and also increasing the following distance between cars.
There's a case in the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court where a driver charged with driving under the influence of marijuana in Millbury is arguing there is no scientific way to prove drug driving.
The defendant is arguing that the use of standardized field sobriety tests to determine that he was under the influence of marijuana is a non-scientifically sound testing system.
One option for police officers can take a drug recognition course, but Chief HURLEY says it might not work for smaller departments like Leicester's.
That's very time-consuming and expensive for smaller agencies, and there are very few of them around that we can rely on. Every once in a while, when an officer's on patrol, we'll hear on one of the regional channels someone looking for a drug recognition expert to help them out at a stop.
As for these issues, HURLEY says he doesn't see any resolution anytime soon.
In my opinion, allows an individual who is smoking marijuana and is under the influence to drive down the street with little chance of any repercussions, such as being arrested.
Brittany Schaefer, Worcester News Tonight.
Habitat for Humanity providing a special surprise on Worcester Common today for service members and their families. Our Chandler Walsh has the story.
Captain Johnny KULA helps his kids get acquainted with their backyard's newest addition.
As soon as they saw him when we were walking up, they were like, "Is that ours?"
Thursday, the local chapter of Habitat for Humanity presented Playhouses to surprise children of 6 Massachusetts military families.
I was excited.
Show us how excited. Like super excited? Like running like crazy?
Volunteers worked on this playhouse for 8 hours for Cassandra and James to play in for years.
It's like the most overwhelming thing to be able to have this playhouse actually go to a child of a veteran who's given so much to our country, and it means so much for us to give back.
Habitat for Humanity's Operation Playhouse brought together teams of volunteers on Worcester Common. Their mission? To construct creative, colorful playhouses. 6 sponsors raised a minimum of $2,500 each to build them.
This is just a small piece that we can give back to them and make it, a great time for them to be able to enjoy memories in a cute little playhouse.
Support Captain KULA, whose service sometimes takes him away from his family, says he's thankful for it.
It's just great to know that people support you and they help, I guess, build that pride inside of you.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
The state shuts down a local pond as bacteria levels from the water came back high. Whitehall Pond at Rutland State Park was empty Thursday after officials closed the site. The Department of Conservation and Recreation says the bacteria in the pond could be a health risk and told swimmers to get out of the water on Wednesday. They believe the high levels can be linked to stormwater and animal droppings. The DCR advises swimmers to avoid Whitehall Pond until the water returns to safe levels. Worcester's craft beer scene is growing, and tonight several local breweries served up some of their specials during the Worcester Bravehearts' first annual craft beer night. It was a hit for many fans and vendors who say they're thrilled to combine local flavor and baseball for a fun night in the city.
Taking Massachusetts ingredients and putting it in every one of our beers.
Whether it's a pale ale or a blueberry beer, you could find it at the Worcester Bravehearts' first annual craft beer night, bringing a blend of local flavors to baseball fans and craft beer enthusiasts.
Bottle Rocket, it's a rye-based pale ale, which is a little different for a pale ale. And we dry hop it with Mosaic, so you get a little tang and a little spice up front. Really nice, cool tropical fruit notes in back, and it's a really easy drinker for anyone.
Local vendors like Worcester's WORMTOWN Brewery served up some of their iconic local brews. Fans say this is the best way to taste the city's craft beer all under one roof.
A lot of these will have variations from batch to batch, so that's fun to see. And then they're all doing different flavors, different styles, different alcohol contents.
Well, if craft beer isn't your thing, you can stop by the Wicked Twisted and pick up one of their homemade local pretzels, something vendors say pairs perfectly with beer and baseball.
We also sell a lot of pretzels at these breweries, so it's a perfect combination. We know everything about these people. We love Holy Cross, so we make an all-natural, no corn sweeteners, no preservatives, traditional Bavarian style pretzel. It's hand twisted. It's a boiled product like it should be. It's not just sprayed with baking soda, and it tastes great.
Locals say they're thrilled to be trying some new brews and enjoying a game of baseball tonight in the city.
Different breweries in the city that I haven't been there. I grew up here, but this is great to get people together to do things like this. Have a nice band playing. It's really enjoyable.
A Boston judge is siding with a chain liquor store after the state's Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission said the business was selling alcohol for less than it was invoiced its cost. Total Wine and More opened its Shrewsbury location earlier this year, and as our Cam Jandrow explains, some customers are happy about the ruling.
Following a 7-month legal battle, Total Wine and More can legally sell alcohol at a discount when bought in bulk. The ruling comes after the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission suspended 2 locations for its discount pricing. In a statement Thursday, Total Wine said today's decision in Massachusetts is a victory for consumers and a validation of Total Wine and More's commitment to lawfully provide consumers access to the best values possible on the products we carry in Massachusetts.
I don't think there is a difference. You buy wine in bulk, you're buying cigars at bulk, why can't you buy anything else in bulk?
It's kind of silly. People are going to drink what people are going to drink, regardless of the price.
In his decision, Suffolk Superior Court Judge Robert Gordon said there was no predatory pricing carried out in this case. However, Massachusetts Total Wine locations still can't sell liquor below cost and must make the state's minimum cost requirement. Customers outside the Shrewsbury store say their prices are what brings them there.
Bulk is good, prices are low, I'm on board. I'm on board.
I come to Total Wine for the selection and the price.
Now, the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverages Control Commission says they're still reviewing the judge's decision. We reached out to them for comment, but have yet to hear back from them. In Shrewsbury, I'm Cam Jandrow, Worcester News Tonight.
Controversy in Webster tonight involving signs at a local pet store. Alicia Palumbo explains.
PT Pet Supply, how may I help you? PT Pet Supply in Webster is a small family-owned pet store and groomer that has relied on its illuminated sign, personalized with photos of its owner, Yolanda DiGaetano's pets, to keep customers coming in the doors.
It was cute, it was big, and had a dog, a cat, a bird, and I think it was a guinea pig, and had our logo was where pets are people too.
But on Wednesday, while the owner was on vacation, that sign was replaced with this, as the new Cornerstone Bank next door put up these new signs.
Nobody talked to Yolanda about it, and that's her sign, that's her business, that's how people see us. And now it's this rinky-dinky little sign that you can't even see.
The sudden switch has angered some nearby small businesses and caused confusion for customers.
I really couldn't see it, so I almost drove by the parking lot, to be honest with you.
I don't know why they think they have the right to even do that.
So we checked with Webster's code enforcement inspectors and pulled the permits. And it turns out property owner Paul KARAPANOS signed off on it.
There was miscommunication on how and what was supposed to take place. I assumed, and I shouldn't have, that it was only the top part.
KARAPANOS says he is already working on getting PT Pet Supply's original sign, or an even better one, back up on the signposts.
My thought is, let's go forward and get it solved.
We reached out to Cornerstone Bank to try to find out why they didn't contact PT Pet Supply directly or ask them first before replacing their sign, but they wouldn't return our calls seeking comment. In the meantime, the owner of PT Pet Supply tells me that after we started digging into it, she was able to set up a meeting with Cornerstone Bank for Friday. In Webster, Alicia Palumbo, Worcester News Tonight.
A kitten is seriously injured over the weekend after having a run-in with barbed wire. Freddie is recovering from surgery at Second Chance Animal Shelter in North Brookfield. They sent this picture of the cat taken on Saturday. The shelter says a Good Samaritan called to help free the animal, and one of the kitten's front legs had become completely entangled in the barbed wire, and 2 veterinary technicians were able to free him. Eventually, Freddie will be moved to a foster home where he can continue.